I ignored the same knock every night until my newborn started crying at the front door. The first time someone knocked on my front door at exactly 2:13 in the morning, I figured it was a mistake. By the seventh night, I realized someone wasn't trying to get inside. They were trying to get me to come outside. My name is Caleb. I'm 32 years old, married to my wife Hannah, and we had just brought our first baby home 3 weeks earlier. We'd bought our little house in a quiet neighborhood outside Des Moines because everyone said it was safe. Tree-lined streets, retired neighbors, kids riding bicycles. Nothing ever happened there. At least that's what everyone believed. Life revolved around bottles, diapers, and trying to sleep whenever our daughter Lily allowed it. So when someone knocked on our front door in the middle of the night, I almost didn't wake up. 3 slow knocks. Knock, knock, knock. I checked my phone. 2:13 a.m. I walked to the peephole. Nobody. I opened the porch light. Empty porch. No cars. No footsteps. Nothing. I shrugged it off. Maybe teenagers. Maybe someone had the wrong house. The next night, 2:13 again. 3 knocks. This time Hannah woke up. Did you hear that? Yeah. Who's there? I don't know. Again, nobody. No movement. No sound. Our Ring camera showed absolutely nothing. No person approaching. No one leaving. Only 3 knocks and an empty porch. After the 4th night, I called customer support for the camera company. Maybe motion detection was broken. The representative reviewed the footage, then paused. Sir, your camera never detected movement, but somebody knocked. I believe you. The system just doesn't show anyone walking onto your porch. That answer bothered me more than if the camera had simply malfunctioned. A week later, our retired neighbor, Mr. Donnelly, stopped me while I was taking out the trash. You folks hearing knocking lately? My stomach dropped. You too? He nodded. Every few nights. Always after 2. I quit answering. That night I stayed awake, coffee. Living room lights off, curtains barely cracked. At exactly 2:13, a shadow crossed the edge of the driveway. Not toward the house, away from it. Someone had already been standing in my yard. Then, knock, knock, knock. Before I reached the window, the shadow disappeared. I ran outside barefoot. Cold air hit my face. The street was empty. Not one person. Only silence. The next morning I found something that made my blood run cold. Tiny white chalk marks. One beside my mailbox, another near the sidewalk, another on the utility pole across the street. Simple symbols, lines, circles, arrows. I washed them off. By evening, they were back. The police came. The officer photographed everything. He admitted he'd never seen markings exactly like those. He suggested neighborhood kids, but there were no kids outside after dark. That weekend our power went out, not the neighborhood, just our house. The utility company found nothing wrong. When the electricity returned, our baby monitor suddenly activated by itself. Static, then breathing, not crying, breathing. Hannah whispered, "Tell me that's Lily." I checked. Lily was asleep. The monitor was broadcasting from downstairs. I grabbed the baseball bat. Every light stayed off. The house was completely silent. Room by room I searched, nothing, until I reached the laundry room. The back door was unlocked. I knew I had locked it. I checked the security footage. The power outage had interrupted recording for exactly 11 minutes. The following afternoon, an elderly woman I'd never met knocked on our door. She lived 2 streets over. "You should leave." "What?" She looked over both shoulders before speaking again. "They watch families with newborns." I laughed nervously. "Who?" She refused to answer. Instead, she handed me a faded newspaper clipping. 5 years earlier, another young family had disappeared from the same neighborhood. No forced entry, no suspects, nothing stolen, just gone. That night I didn't sleep, neither did Hannah. At 2:13, the knocks came again. This time, Lily started crying before the first knock landed, as if she already knew. Then every motion light around our house switched on simultaneously. I looked through the front window. 4 people, not 1, 4, standing separately around the property. None of them moved. Each wore dark hooded jackets. None looked toward the house. They simply stood there, watching. I whispered, "Call 911." The dispatcher stayed on the line. The people never approached. never knocked again. They waited exactly 8 minutes, then walked away in 4 different directions. Police arrived 3 minutes later. No one was found. But one officer noticed fresh tire tracks leading into an abandoned service road behind our backyard. The investigation uncovered something unexpected. A burglary crew had been targeting homes with exhausted new parents. They spent days studying routines, watching lights, learning feeding schedules, waiting for the perfect opportunity. The knocks weren't attempts to get inside. They were tests. If someone answered quickly, the family was awake. If no one answered, the house became a potential target. The chalk marks? A code identifying which homes were occupied, vulnerable, or worth returning to. Over the next month, detectives arrested 3 members of the group. One was never found. Even after we moved away, I couldn't sleep through the night without checking every lock twice. Sometimes, when the house is perfectly quiet and Lily is asleep upstairs, I still wake up at exactly 2:13. Not because someone is knocking, because my mind remembers. People think danger always looks obvious. Sometimes, it begins with 3 polite knocks, and someone waiting to see if you'll answer. If this story made you think twice about opening the door late at night, let me know in the comments. Would you have looked outside after the first knock, or ignored it completely? And if you enjoy realistic suspense stories with unexpected twists, subscribe to Blind Spot for more original stories that will make you question the ordinary.